Hi, guys. Welcome back to the baseline. Thanks for watching. I hope everybody is doing well. Today, we're going to be talking about the Iran Israel strike that shook the world, oil wars, Trump's gamble, and could this also be the dollar's last breath? Let's jump into everything. So, let's stop what we're doing because this isn't going to be just another headline. This is history. Sorry, guys. This is history happening in real time. Israel just struck Iran and the nuclear sites. This isn't a drill. It's not a simulation, a real strike on real soil with real consequences. And now Iran's retaliation, it's in full swing. We're talking about missiles, drones. The economic markets are going up and down. Oil is surging. And while all this unfolds, the United States, the global referee, is sitting on the sidelines. And it seems like we're biting our nails like the United States forgot to sign up for this fight. And Trump, he either greenlit this or got played like a fiddle by Netanyahu. Either way, buckle up. This might be the moment the global economy enters its villain arc. So here's the strike that changed everything. And here's what happened. In the dead of night, Israel launches a precision strike, and not just at any military base, but at Iran's nuclear enrichment facilities. And yeah, that's like throwing a firecracker into a room full of gas and then saying, I hope this de-escalates things. It's crazy. But now we're not talking about shady desert warehouses right now. We're talking about Iran sites that are considered to be untouchable. And Israel, they touch them. And so naturally, Iran is retaliating. And within hours, they did with drones. I'm sorry again, guys, drones, missiles, and a full-on counterstrike aimed squarely at Israel. And while the whole Middle East teeters on the edge of combustion, what does the United States say? Hey, we had nothing to do with this. Even Marco Rubio jumped out of bed to tweet, hey, we're not involved. Please don't hit our troops. But man, guys, it's too late for disclaimers. And unfortunately, this isn't Instagram. It is war. And Trump's tightrope, did he know? Did he blink? Let's talk about Trump. Because here's where it gets messy, right? According to a leaked Wall Street Journal piece, Trump knew about the Israeli plan. Not only that, he apparently called it, this is hard, guys, to hear, but good for the markets. Good for the stock markets. Now, look, I'm all for strategic thinking, but when a sitting president calls a nuclear strike bullish, that's not a strategy. That's Vegas logic, like gambling, right? But here's the twist. Trump publicly said he gave Iran a 60-day ultimatum to make a nuclear deal, right? Well, this I guess was day 61. So either this was all part of his timeline or the man is freestyling with foreign policy like nobody we've ever seen. But here's the catch. Even if Trump wanted to stop Israel, he couldn't. And that's the terrifying part because it means America's influence, the whole idea that the United States is the adult in the room, it's starting to fade and it's fading fast. This wasn't just a strike. It was a public demotion from world leader to spectator. And now it's hard to know where, like if Israel's running America's show or not. I don't know. Which brings us to oil, and it's going to the moon and the economy. Let's talk about the oil because within hours of the strike, oil prices exploded. Crude surged over 13%. You could practically hear Exxon executives popping champagne while the rest of us were Googling how to make your car run on hopes and prayers. And this isn't some minor market wobble. This is a gut punch to global supply chains. And why? Because Iran isn't just any country. They sit on the Strait of Hormuz. And that little body of water, it carries 11% of the world's maritime oil. Now, if Iran decides to shut it down, even partially, we're not talking $78 a barrel oil. We're talking 130 a barrel easy, maybe more. And that's not just bad news for your gas tank. That's death to United States manufacturing. But guess what? You can't bring factories back to America as Trump promised if your energy bill costs more than your rent. Now, the dollar's safe haven status, it seems like it's not so safe, right? Traditionally, war means money flows into the dollar. That's usually the rule, right? But this time we didn't see the dollar surge. It bounced a bit, maybe like 0.5%, and then nothing. Investors hesitated. And that's a huge red flag. Why? Because when investors start doubting the dollar during a global crisis, the world reserve currency, that's not just a crack in the system. That's the sound of an empire kind of wobbling. And let me know if you guys agree or disagree with this stuff, and fact check me as well, because I'm hoping I'm wrong on all this. And meanwhile, as we're talking about this, gold is out there acting like Beyonce on tour, rising past $3,400 an ounce. Headlines everywhere breaking records. And there are whispers of central banks about moving reserves out of the dollar and into gold. Now, if that does accelerate, it's game over for the current US-led financial structure. And yeah, that sounds dramatic, and hopefully it doesn't happen. But what also sounds dramatic is striking nuclear sites, and we're already there. Now, what's Europe's energy nightmare? And what's China's silent win here? So let's zoom out for a minute, because while America's economy is spiraling, Europe's is in somewhat of a free fall. Gas prices in Europe surged over 6% overnight. And Qatar, are they nervous? Global gas markets, are they squeezed? I don't know. But who benefits from all this chaos? And you guessed it, it's going to be China. Because while we're fumbling over fossil fuels, China quietly stockpiling Russian oil, doubling down on renewables, and whispering sweet nothings to every country we've alienated with tariffs and sanctions. They didn't need to fire a single shot. All they had to do was wait. Now, that brings us to Red Sea flashpoints, the Houthi comeback, and the tariff domino. Let's not forget Yemen. Yeah, remember those guys, the Houthis, backed by Iran? Might see the chaos as their green light to reignite attacks on shipping routes in the Red Sea. And if this happens, we're going to see another layer of supply chain breakdowns, which means more inflation, more panic, and fewer people willing to invest in U.S. production. Now, Trump's entire reshoring plan, those 1.2 million manufacturing jobs, poof, they're going to be gone just like that. And if energy costs stay high, no CEO is going to say, let's build our next plant in Kansas. They'll say, screw it, let's go to Vietnam. And, hope in this situation, it's not going to be a strategy, but gold might be. So what now? Bank of America just said gold could hit $4,000 an ounce. And honestly, I believe them. Why? Because there's nowhere else to go right now. The dollar is shaky. The stock market's very jumpy. And crypto, it still feels like gambling with monopoly money. But gold is sitting in the corner like, yeah, I told you guys. Now, this isn't investment advice. It's just a reality check for us all, right? And when war breaks out, currencies bleed and debt skyrockets, inflation returns like an uninvited ex. And gold just chills and shines. So here are 3 hard truths that we cannot ignore. And let's close with this, right? 3 hard truths we have to confront. Number 1, the United States is no longer in control of the global stage. When allies act without permission and enemies retaliate with confidence, that's a sign. Number two, the economy isn't built to absorb this level of shock. Our dependence on fossil fuels, our fragile supply chains, and our broken politics make resilience unlikely, right? And the next crash won't be like 2008. It's going to be slower, it's going to be deeper, and more psychological. People won't just lose money, they're going to lose trust. So now's the time to prepare. Don't panic, prepare. That's the antidote to panic, right? Invest in your mindset, diversify in your income, question the narratives, read beyond the headlines. And for me, I try not to be part of a team. I try to just see things for what they are, the best that I can. And most importantly, I think it's important for all of us to stay awake, because the next few months, they're not just pivotal, they're historical. And until then, I encourage everybody, keep your mind sharp and your wallet smart, keep your faith unshakable. And I appreciate you guys, again, watching the baseline. Stay safe, own your own mind, everybody. We'll catch you guys on the next round. All right. Cheers, everybody.